rising. Whew. Oh my gosh. I'm probably going to be going like this a lot. Grand rising. Whew. The energy is pumping. Today is the full moon in Aquarius. We're going to talk about the week coming up, August 23rd to the 29th. I think I'm going to talk slow today. I think that's why they did that. All right. So, if you have, first of all, thank you. How are you? I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week. My name is Miladies from Galactic Hood Buddha. I am your spirit shifter, here to assist you. Any information you need is somewhere down below. Today we have a full moon meditation / Reiki. I guide you through a gentle meditation and incorporate Reiki so that we can be able to restore and captivate our power, collect our power. Where is it at? Who did we give it to? Can we get it back? And through that meditation, I walk you through that, and from there, excuse me, you guys can have an easier, like you can have an assistant to release what we need to release. The full moon in Aquarius is at 29 degrees, which is our emotions very high. Our emotions very high. So we highly sensitive right now. So if anybody says something to you, you might get offended. If something happens to you where you feel like you're not being respected, you might get offended. Including you talking to yourself. So this is the topic of the week coming up. The negative Nancy that's up here is going to be going haywire next week. So it is up to us to make a choice. If you're feeling sad, make a choice to be happy. If you're feeling down and out, make a choice to be happy. It's all about choices next week. What are you going to choose? Leo season is practically over. And the party life, goodbye. Virgo season is coming in with the ability for us to reorganize ourselves. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So, I said thank you. I said I love y'all, right? I thank you. I love y'all. I also wanted to give y'all a little tip in regards to healing. It's not about the other person. And I know we always hear this, but I had to practice it myself to really understand that. It's truly about me forgiving myself for being in that situation and for accepting that vibration coming towards me. And when we heal that aspect, it's not in the blame. There's a difference when you're like, it's all my fault. I should have never did this. I should have never did that. I regret this. I regret that. No, it's more of being aware. There's a difference when you have that emotional intelligence, when you're just in that space of saying to yourself, okay, that situation occurred, and now I'm going to take ownership of that situation so it don't take ownership of me. A lot of times we do go through rough shit that we can't shake off just by going to sleep, waking back up. And those are that's the type of energy that's surfacing up right now. It's time for us to let go. Leo showed us what our heart wants. Some of us are being let go. Some of us are letting go. We are being the person that nobody wants to be around anymore. Your job doesn't need you anymore, according to them, right? And all of this is happening because your heart is desiring to be somewhere else. And most of us is just like, but I didn't plan for this. And the best things comes when they're not planned, right? A lot of people don't plan to become business owners, but they end up becoming business owners because the opportunity presented itself. Open yourself up to the greatest possibilities that can probably ever happen in your life. Like, be like a little kid and believe in miracles at this current time. Should you allow yourself to be in that space to believe that everything you want will come into fruition time by time by time, you understand Virgo season, you have to take those baby steps. Your body is going to be calling for nurturing. Virgo is a earth sign. And with this, it wants to eat better. It wants to organize itself, organize the home. Don't beat yourself up for what you're about to fix, what you're about to enhance, what you're about to improve in your life. Let's move away from what we don't want, right? And stare at what we do want. What do we want? This is what I want. What am I going to do to get there? Today, I'm going to take this step to get there. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury. So we will be, again, in our heads a lot. We have a lot of shit happening next week. Next week, you know, I have my handy dandy notebook. All right, so next week, Monday, like I said, we're just gonna be sensitive throughout the entire week. We're gonna be a bit sensitive about what's happening in our lives and the changes that we're making, because most of us are confused which route to go. But should we sit down with ourselves and just truly listen and own the skills that we have? Because a lot of us have gifts and skills, and put yourself into practice on creating those skills without worrying about what the larger outcome is. What is your next step? Virgo is about the everyday. It rules the sixth house. The sixth house is about your daily life, the choices that we make, being of service. So not only does Aquarius full moon is about service, right, for ourselves and service for others, but here comes Virgo and here comes the sixth house, also expressing the same thing. So you're also going to be thinking about the community. One thing is focus on self and align yourself. And as you align yourself, the community, the people will see you, and you'll be able to then assist shifting other people. But when we try to shift other people and we're still not shifting ourselves, that causes a lot of conflict within our soul, because it's just like, well, what about me? Virgo is also a sign that loves to assist. So this could be a time where you may be also in a space of giving. But let's see if we turn that around and learn how to bring it to a balance. As we give, we receive. And so Tuesday, we're going to have Neptune conjuncting the moon and is opposing Mercury. So Neptune is about illusions, our imaginations, and our spiritual side. So this whole week, we're going to be battling with our spiritual side. And then when it is opposing the moon is going to be in Pisces at that time. And so Neptune, Pisces, moon. So all of that, and it's opposing Mercury, our mind is going to be in a confused state of where we want to be and what we want to do. So Tuesday, instead of digging deep into that side, bring yourself to your notes, right? If you write, this is what I want, bring yourself back to your affirmations, bring yourself back to your meditations. The best thing to do is to build a daily routine at this current time and stick to it. Should we decide to stick to this, I'm talking to myself too. Should we decide to stick to our daily routines that we create starting today, starting tomorrow, pushing it all the way into September, it becomes a habit for us. And now we're not in our minds beating ourselves up for things. Building boundaries at this time is very important with whoever, even with your kids. Y'all know I always say, even with your kids, right? Because the kids is always in the current time, they are in need, which is absolutely true. But at the same time, it drives the parents crazy when they can have a time to breathe, right? So close your door for 5-10 minutes and allow yourself to be. You know, if it's not an emergency, let it be for a little bit. Focus on rebuilding yourself, because as you do that, everything will become calmer in the external view. Wednesday, we are going to be very emotional, and we might not even want to talk to anybody about that. Maybe it'll be a time for us to journal. What's happening? Our feelings are going to be hurt. We're going to be in a space of feeling like, again, we're going to be focusing on what other people think next weekend. We really have to turn back around, because if it's your life, you can't really be focused on what other people think. They can have their opinion, but if it's something that your heart is saying, do it, do it. Let go of that job, do it. Trust that something larger is coming in for you. Trust that, because you are talented. There's no way that you was at a job for 5, 10, 15 years and not call yourself talented. There's no way. I don't believe it. Thursday, Mercury is going to be in the same space as Pluto. So your mind is going to be digging deep into the past. Bring it back. Bring it back. And so it's going to be a push and pull of our negative minds, back and forth, back and forth. And so we really have to focus on where we want to be. Where is your power at? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Go into details. Virgo season is about details. Go into details. What does your everyday look like? Today I wake up and I drink coffee. I look outside the window. Raindrops falling. Doop, doop, doop. I get up and I do yoga. Breathing is my life. Whatever it is that you want to do, you get up and you use the bathroom, you go back to sleep, whatever. What does a perfect morning look like for you? Because Virgo likes to be in that perfection state. What does a perfect morning look like to you? And then go, what does a perfect day look like for you? What does your dream job look like? Write it out, post it, look at it every day, every day, every day. It's about consistency. Should we want change? Every day, every day. It's not a joke. If it feels like a chore, don't do it. If your body doesn't allow you to get up every day in the morning and work out, don't do it. Find the time within the day that gives you the most energy so that you can work out. Work with that as opposed to forcing yourself. Communication. Communication is at its most highest. It can be emotional or it can be productive. What's happening? What else? Let me see. Yeah, and then just like really for the rest of the week is putting in the work of like your battle between the person you want to become and the person you were. And the person you were will always come up because other people love to bring that person up. But you have to remember that, I said this to somebody yesterday. Excuse me. Time changes. Even though time is an illusion for this planet, time changes. So how can you not change? So when people be saying, oh, that's not how you used to be, what you want me to do? What do you want me to do? That was not how I used to be. I'm a different person. I learn new things. All right, so this is going to be a message for the collectives. I love y'all. I'm just in that loving mood today. Shout out to all the people that I seen yesterday at the fair. It's so much fun. To angels and archangels, thank you so much for being here, protection and guidance when it comes to the collective. What is the message for this week for the collectives? Then I got what I sold. Compromise. Compromise is one of the messages that they're giving us right here. And you see that balance. Compromise, helpful people. And if you believe, we could just shut it down right now. Reading over. That's it. What you need. If you believe, this talks about, look at that, Merkaba. Oof. This Archangel Metatron. Look at that. So a great way to meditate is to envision being in something like this. And you can do that for 5 minutes. You create this image in your mind and you allow yourself to step in there. I have like a pink yoga mat. I'll be like, and so being in the space of believing, not knowing if it's going to happen or not, releasing expectations. And for the next week, for the rest of the week, August 23rd to the 29th, allow yourself to be a dreamer. Do that. There's nothing wrong with that. What's the worst that could happen if you don't dream? Nothing. Believe in yourself. Believe and allow yourself to release anything that's gonna stop you from not believing in yourself. So if there's a compromise, doesn't really mean doesn't talk about you agree with the person. Compromising just means that there's a time and space to agree and disagree. So that's how you feel, that's how you think, cool. But for me, I'm going to still speak my truth, and that's what it is. But I accept that you think that way because we have different experiences. I say this all the time, including to, my sisters. And this fight, right, because it feels like a fight. This compromising can be in a space of family members. Everybody is always, no, it doesn't even matter who it is. Everybody has two eyes and they see everything from their perspective. Period. So when you come in with your perspective, there's plenty of times that people are not going to agree with it, because even if you were in the same room, they can never, ever see your version because it came through your eyes and you captivated different details. Once we grasp that, of understanding or understanding that someone's experience is always going to be different than ours, compromising becomes a little bit more easier. And again, it's not about, oh, I got to give in and give in to your ideology. Nah, it's just like, who? That's your ideology? No biggie. This is mine. But it brings harmony and balance because now we're in a space of accepting people for who they are, what they are, period. And last but not least, helpful people. This goes vice versa. Allow people to help you. If you don't allow people to help you and you're always helping everybody else, that's not going to work out, baby. Not going to work out. Not in this planet. Why? Because of the law of giving and receiving. The law of giving and receiving gets you further than just giving, or receiving. This right here talks about your angels, archangels, your spiritual team coming down to help you out. Any situation that's extremely hard for you to release, they got you. Archangel Michael, y'all see him? Ooh. Archangel Michael with his 7 swords comes through and shake shit the fuck up. You heard? Don't believe me? I don't need you to. But I would like for you to try it. Being a heavy ass argument, or like, right? All right, prime example, there's always chaos where I live. True facts. And so I emotionally get impacted. And one of the things that I do is when I hear an argument or a kid getting hurt, or just people being very loud and vulgar and mean and aggressive, I call in Archangel Michael immediately, and I just sit there and be like, Archangel Michael, come through. And within 5 minutes, I have seen situations dissolve like miracles. And so try it out. Our soul message. If y'all want me to tell you a little bit more about different angels, I'll tell y'all, and saints. I'm about to talk about Saint Expedite in another video. He's the truth. What is our soul's message for the collective? Courage. This is a Affirmation. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. I find the inner strength to, hold on, to face fear with confidence. We're going to say that one more time. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Remember that fear is an illusion. And by us remembering that fear is an illusion, we start. Bison, how can I help you? You all right? Fear is an illusion. And as fear starts creeping up, we can take it by the and just flip it around and say to ourselves, no, this is an excitement. If I'm scared, then I'm excited. Because if I'm excited, then that means that this is the route where I want to go. Unless it's fear of danger, right? Danger happening, then don't go that route, please. Doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. I release the need to know all the answers. I release the need to know all the answers. That definitely was my message last week. They was like, no, you don't need the answers right now. You focus on what you're doing right now. Wanting to know all the answers, all the answers, all the answers moves us away from experience. Thank you, universe, because I know that. And letting go of worry. Oh, these are good. Okay. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. I am learning that worry does not change an outcome. I am learning that worry does not change an outcome. Y'all see that? I'm going to leave this here real quick. Let it scroll. This is courage, building it from the solar plexus out. Hitting the sacral, hitting the root, and then skipping everything else and going to the third eye. Visualizing courage, grounding courage, creating courage, building courage. And doubt. Heart chakra. All right. So let's see what's happening. What's happening for the zodiac signs. Don't forget to look at your sun, your moon, and your rising. Especially your moon, because it's your emotions. I always say the sun is cool, but rising and moons are cooler. Grand rising. So I just started with the collective. I mean, not the collective, the zodiac signs. So we're going in to Aries. And I apologize to my Geminis last week. I totally forgot, y'all. And that probably was my ego, no lie. Because I'm dealing with a lot of Geminis, and my ego was probably like, we don't care. We do not care. So I'll give y'all 2 cards this week. Aries was popping. The Fool. I seen it come out and I didn't pick it up, and it came back out. The Fool in reverse. Look at this. Clear, right? You see at the where the dog is at? All right, here we go, because y'all know. Let's use this. Teacher of the day. So here we have mountains, obstacles. You went through all of this already, Aries. So for this week coming up, do not allow yourself to come back into this mindset. In the beginning, I spoke a lot about what's happening on our negative Nancy. So make sure that you understand that you cleared yourself away from that and you released a lot of baggages. Now is to carry, Aries, next week coming up, what you need and deserve for you to jump into the next step. We don't need to know it all. So yes, there will be some missing information on where your route is or where you're going, but are you going to take the leap? The Fool is about taking the leap and knowing that at the end of it all, the universe got you. So in other words, it's time to clearly express to yourself what you truly want and how you want the outcome to turn out. Not fully to the point where you're expecting it to come out that way, but in a way where you're in the space of creating the details and leaving room for miracles, because that's what this week is all about. So again, the beginning, I spoke a lot about what's happening this week. So that is going to help you out in understanding this card right here. But for the most part, it's truly detoxifying, right? This is like detox everything next week and start from scratch. Don't dive into that negative Nancy. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat nobody up. Aries, don't beat nobody up. And there will be some missing details, but it will be up to you to build that courage and believe that things are going to turn out well for you once you make that step. Taurus, the Six of Swords in reverse. You're coming out next week of that mindset. You're being pulled out. Like your angels and archangels and everyone that you believe in and call in, your ancestors, they came to pull you out, and they're coming to pull you out next week. So start getting yourself prepared to come out these emotional states. There's mindset. There's negative Nancy mindset. Y'all going to hear that a lot. Here, because here you can see, and I'm just going to show it here, but it's in reverse. The clouds, there's no clouds here. So in between that darkness, you're going to be able to pull yourself out. So I want you to build strength. Yes, your thoughts and your emotions at this current time are in a space of harmony, meaning that they're going to be a time for you next week. It could, I'm hearing Wednesday maybe for you guys, where you're going to be able to take that leap over. Maybe you have this big cry where you're just like, that's it. I'm not going through this shit anymore. And you pick yourself up and you start calling in for assistance. You may be even calling in for assistance from others. Open up to that. The 6 is about harmony, but it's about learning how to begin to harmonize your thoughts to create the outcome that you want. You don't want to be in that space anymore. So next week is going to happen for you. Allow yourself to get help. This is about getting help. Your hands are tied. Get help next week, whatever area that is, whether if it's, I'm hearing some business partnerships, get help. Virgo season is about organization, so get help. Get help. We need help. Everybody needs help. I need help. Whew. Gemini, the 5 of Wands, but look at this in reverse. Look at this. Gemini, there's a lot going on in your mind. There's a lot of transformation with this snake, but you can see here that you are experiencing heavy mind blown shit. I don't know. There's a lot going on there, but it is also about transforming. And with these sticks, I also see that there could be some disagreements next week coming up. X's is like, things are not going that way. Things are not going that way, right? As opposed to the swords here, you can see how the swords have a clear path. These wands don't have a clear path. And so as you shift and transform, your path is going to be created. But you have to make that choice to want to allow that path to be created. The 5 of Wands is also about disagreements and fights, right? So Wands is about action. Do your best not to get into a fight about your transformation. If you're transforming to be this way, don't argue with nobody. I talked about it earlier. There's compromising. Do not compromise with people on how you want to be and how you want to think. Easiest way is to accept that that person has that experience and that's their point of view, period. For you, I do see you next week really cultivating what you truly want. And there can also be a lot of people in your space telling you how to think, what next steps to take next week. Fuck that. Listen to yourself, listen to your heart. And do your best to just journal dump all your emotions. I'm going to pull out another card for you. So I did say that. So I'm going to pull it out from, I heard y'all. See, what's my extra card? Right here. What is going to assist you in moving past this? Oh, look, you don't need to worry. Don't worry about it. As long as you make the choice to evolve, move past that, improve past that mindset, and improve your train of thought. Create a daily pattern at this current time for you to move away from that space. All right. Okay. So if you're speaking your truth without worrying, Cancer. Cancer with the Eight of Cups. Cancer feeling a little bit lonely. Cancer's feeling like they have to take a road that not many are taking next week. This could also be leaving. Having some struggle, I'm hearing, but leaving behind all those baggages that no longer serve you. Some Cancers, you have also moved away. You made your way past the heavy stages of healing. However, you still are feeling like you're on a path of loneliness at this current time. Not if you're in a relationship, it's not like, oh, you're going down the path of loneliness next week. No, it's about really tapping into yourself and figuring out your energy next week, so that you can know what's your emotions, what's your emotions, right? Because you're on this side, and what's the other person's emotions. And this also talks about balancing your masculine and your feminine side next week. Like, how much are you doing, how much you're not doing, how much you're willing to do, how much you're willing not to do. Cancer, y'all know y'all like to give a lot, you know? And here, all right, so this just came. This reminds me of Mars, so I'm going to say it. It looks like if some Cancers, y'all don't want to do anything physical, it just feels like a long road before you can get physically active. So rebuild yourself. I'm laughing because my sister's a Cancer, and I know that this energy of wanting to get physically active, it's dreading to her. She gonna kill me for that. So it does talk about creating baby steps next week to build your daily routines. If that you want to walk for 15 days every day, do that. Don't forget about where you live and the weather. Create a plan that's going to work for you. If it's going to be cold, think about how many gloves you're going to wear when you do that 15-minute walk. But it also talks about you being less emotional towards other people's situation next week, because you're going to focus on yourself. There's still, those dark stages happening, but everything else is pretty clear for you, so you can move forward. All right. Leo, today's your last day. How do you feel? I see all my Leos out there, crazy, looking popping. What, Zeus? Oh, Leo, you got the Two of Cups. Who you met? Who y'all met this month? Who y'all met? I was going to say last week. Some of y'all met somebody last week. Some of y'all met somebody this month. This definitely talks about partnership next week. There could be someone that you met, and I'm hearing I met myself. Okay. So you reignited your ignition with yourself, and next week you're going to prove it to yourself by honoring who you are, grounding who you are, and opening up your heart to the new version of yourself, celebrating, toasting next week. You've been through a lot, so this really talks about you celebrating. But it also, if you're in a relationship, you guys may be thinking about creating that marriage date, if that's possible. Or they could definitely next week, loving surprises for my Leos. Be open to love. A lot of us express that we may not be ready for love, but it's going to come regardless, because love is air. Love is that love. I feel like love is like air. It flows whenever it feels like it. You have no control over that. If the wind comes and knock you out, you have no control over that. If the wind gets dry as fuck, you have no control over that. So with that being said, continuously work on yourself and allow love to flow in. This river talks about letting it flow in, letting this happiness touch your heart, Leo. It is time for you to be in a happy space if you haven't been, or to double that and triple that. So next week, you really will be understanding more about what it is to be one-on-one with self, with others, with your kids. How can I help you? Y'all, Bison ate 5 pieces of pound cake. I was so mad. I cried. Because I put it for offering for my deities. I was tight. And he had the nerve to want to eat, try to get some. I snitched, Bison. I snitched on you. What do you need? All right, Virgo. Virgo with the 3 of Wands in reverse. Transitioning into, I just feel release. And I feel like you're just letting go. You're going to be wrapping yourself up in the energy of gliding through life at this current time. You're just like, whatever, this is not for me to be in charge of. Take me, universe. And that's how I feel like next week is going to be. 3 is about the mind, body, and the soul, right? There's 3 birds. There's 3 wands. And there's the water. So I do believe that you're going to be above your emotions, meaning that you're not going to let your emotions take over where you want to go. So the decisions that you're going to be making are going to be clear because you're in your Merkaba, however you want to say it. And yeah, because I'm looking for the card that was the message for us today. But anyways, go to the beginning. And you're going to see the Merkaba or the Merkaba. And that's the space where you're going to be in. You're going to be more finding clarity with your third eye and rooting the clarity that you see. Virgo, I want to say that Aquarius, they're good with the law of attraction. Virgo brings things into reality like this. Like this, because they have them skills. They have the skills, and they're the only signs that I know that come in and they can manifest like this. So with that being said, this energy that's coming in for us is for us to use and manifest like this. Should you decide to make that choice, we have to make that choice. And so Virgo, you're making that choice. And see, with the sun close to the heart, is like the sun is illuminating your sign. You're going to be extremely active on what your soul wants, and you're going to find that vision and bring it to and ground it, but allow yourself to glide next week. I love it. I love it. Libra. Oh, I'll find a system. Libra. Ooh, the Prince of Swords. You have the pages of air is yours. So you're gonna be in your mindset, but you're not gonna let next week your mind take over. This is like you, like, here I am. I'm gonna come with my sword and I'm gonna shut shit the fuck down. I'm cutting all the thoughts that no longer serve me. I'm not gonna allow me to let that be done to me. So you're going to be speaking up. And when I say speaking up, Aquarius is active. The full moon today is activating our throat chakra. This is why I'm like this. And so if you're having that situation, go grab some tea, throw some honey. I did that already, but apparently. And so your throat is going to be lit next week, and you're going to be in a space of communicating, but not from like an aggressive space, not from a space of like, F you. No, it's more of like, this is how I feel. This is who I am. And I am proud of this. And I'm moving forward with this without anyone stopping me. And that's what I get here. And you're going to be delicate about it, right? Because here you're bringing in that balance, and the flower is very delicate. So you're going to be delicate about communicating with people. You're not going to be aggressive like Aries, or I'm talking about me, y'all. I'm aggressive. All right. Who we got next? Who's next? Scorpio. Scorpio. Oh, I miss my mom's, y'all. She was a Scorpio. Ooh, you got the Emperor in reverse. You next week is people should just not play with you next week. Next week you're in your elements. Next week you're going to be able. I don't know. There's this Pluto action happening on Wednesday. So that Pluto energy right now for you, because that's your ruler, it's really going to be organized within yourself, and you're going to be able to understand what your next steps are. You're really not playing next week, but you're not showing anybody. So the Emperor, imagine being the emperor on the inside. It's like you got organization, you have the skills, you know who you are, and now, but you're moving in silence as usual. So next week you're going to be moving in silence in that emperor stage, and doing the things that you want, and you really are not going to play. And anything that you do next week could be for a long time. With this Ankh is, life force energy. And many of you may be even tapping into your gifts, and you're, again, secretly practicing these gifts, understanding your gifts so that you can move forward. These rays of light just talks about once you decide and make that choice to bring it out into the world, into the collective, it's going to hit many levels of other people's lives. This is cultivating that energy from within and sharing that light with other people once you're ready and making that choice. Also with the Rams, Aries, if you have any friends that are Aries, you might be also be empowered by them, or might be, there's something with an Aries, or maybe you're cultivating that Aries energy, that Mars energy of doing, but it also could be quite an aggressive energy. So I would say don't hurt nobody. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. I should do that. What if I'm gonna do it just one time. I need a rolling chair. What if I had a chair, then I'll be like this. Sagittario. Y'all make sure that I do not get a rolling chair, because if I get a rolling chair and I get to turn around, it's a wrap. All right, Sagittarius, you too. Okay. Maybe if you're a single Sag, you might be meeting a Libra, because you have the Prince of Swords. The Princess of Swords. This is a Knight of Swords, but it kind of like resembles a little bit of this energy here. But this really talks to me with you, Sagittarius. It talks to me about you understanding your new beginning and bringing that energy down. While Libra is out there already, you are understanding your energy and understanding the messages, and now you're bringing them and you're grounding them. Now, you, my dear, can also be frustrated and sad and tight. So next week, you're going to be thinking about all the things you've been through and the long road that you took to get where you're at. So here, with this important information that you have, you're going to be aggressive about letting people know, it's going down. And so that's how, y'all see that? So that's how it's going to be feeling for you next week. You're going to be putting on, these boots are made for walking, and you're going to put them on, and you're going to be able to learn next week to communicate in a rather articulate way and bring it down and be able to communicate with other people. So if my Sagittarius, you've been having difficulties communicating to others, right now your mind is providing you next week with that ability to make that choice for others to understand you clearly, because you have all the ideas ready. Ideas, statements, whatever that means to you. It's hard, right? Capricorn, Capricorn. I just see myself turning around. Ooh, he got the world. So right now, Capricorns, ain't no stopping you now. You're on the move. So Capricorns, next week's energy is actually gonna not affect you as much, because you kind of already know about the negative Nancy and you are not stepping in that. So I just feel like majority of my Capricorns are already going to be knowing what they want to do, where they want to go. And so as opposed to using this, allowing this energy to bring them down and them having to rebuild themselves back up, they're already at that stage. With the elements here, earth, fire, wind, and water, you're going to be using those elements to move forward. So for those of you who love using candles or taking their spiritual baths or any of those elements or using the crystals, you're going to be using tools to be able to guide you, and you're going to be in alignment with the world here. Sacral, very creative. That orange is very creative, allowing yourself to be creative so that you can share your creativity with the world. Next week, some of you are already going to be sharing your creativity with the world. The solar plexus, however, I see here, working on your solar plexus so that you could be, first of all, I was not going to say that, but to be presentable, I wouldn't say that, but let's just bring it back. To present yourself into the world, building your solar plexus is going to be a great thing at this time. As you can see, it's also here by the throat chakra. So really activating your solar plexus to give you that willpower and that confidence to present what you're going to present to us is going to be good for you next week. Next week, some of y'all might be having a lot of action. But that's that orange. Who's that? Aquarius. Ooh, Aquarius, strength from within, right? This person is tight. They mad. You see that? She's mad. But at the same time, it's frustration because the card was in reverse. So it's frustration from what you've been through, knowing that no matter what, you've always rode out, right? There's like writing out your situations and knowing that you have been through so much that you're frustrated about how things are still turning out. But that energy for some of you are to build your strength back up. And also this week is about asking for help. To my Aquarius, ask for help. To my Capricorns, ask for help. Those zodiac signs that don't like to ask for help, that do it myself attitude, I should gotta go. No lie. Because I even had that attitude. Knowing damn well that we need help, we be stressed the fuck out. Why do we need to put all the responsibilities? And help doesn't mean now dumping something on someone else. Help means like, hey, give me a call so I can speak to someone. I would like to be able to express myself. Hey, listen, asking for help is the bare minimum of just asking someone to make sure that you get up in the morning so that you can work out. It's little things like that that's going to assist you, Aquarius, moving out of that space because you have all this energy inside. That Leo energy rocked you. Whatever happened this season, this month, between July and August, that should just rock you. And right now, you want to keep waters calm, but it's like you're frustrated. So next week, you could be stepping into that aggressive stage where it could be going into blame mode first, and then you turn it over and you build the strength to move past it. You're still going to be a little bit upset about situations that may happen next week or that has happened in the past and it could be coming up. And now you have to deal with it. So now you tight. You like, I'll build the strength for it. Check this out. You see the mountains though? There's nothing interfering in your healing at this time, Aquarius, right? Meaning that you have the energy right now to make the choice to move past whatever has been happening. All right. I don't know what's happening in your life. So, but for the most part, right now, the energy that's happening planetarily and with this card, make a move, make a move. The strength card is a major arcana. So there's going to be a great shift from our Aquarius. Great. Okay, we're going to do this. a great shift for my Aquarius next week. Like a big one. Oh, some of y'all do got... Okay, no, we're not doing this. Some of y'all do got major arcanas. Well, I probably won't be able to go back because y'all probably not going to see it. Anyways, focus. Last, Pisces. Pisces. That's how you say it. Pisces. You got the Aquarian energy. You got the star card. You're also going to have a major shift next week. Like, it's going to be, like, you're going to physically see it next week. Here with the star card, allowing yourself to leave the shadow behind. Allowing yourself to not let this bother you anymore. Like everyone else who doesn't have anything in their obstacle at this time, you have the energy. You have your angels, your guides here bringing you into balance when it comes to grounding and rooting what you want, and also being emotionally open to where you want to be. But here are you figuring out the balance and building strength. So right now, this has been your authentic self, naked, truthful, and honest. What does that look like? What choices will you make next week to release this energy? Childhood trauma, old relationships, bosses that we didn't like, schools that we wanted to burn. I remember, I wanted to go to Jane Addams. This is in the Bronx, and because I like to do nails, hair, all that shit, I could do your hair if I feel like I do that on the side. Don't hit me up. It's only by choice. Meaning I selectively pick who I do the hair. But anyways, so Jane Addams didn't pick me. Grace Dodge didn't pick me. And I swear to God, I was 13? I wanted to go and burn it. Burn the school down. What kind of mindset is that? So anyways, let go of that. I just wanted to share that we can have dark mindsets, all right? And so with that being said, I love you. Y'all ready for this album? We're going to have an album. I'm going to do an album. I don't care if my voice is good or not. I got words to speak. So I'm going to hit the beat. Who boppity beat. I'm getting off of this. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out the video for today's pick a card reading for the full moon. I love y'all. Peace.